Hey guys, thecubedude here, and today I have another episode of Better Brand for you guys. Today's episode is all about the mirror blocks, otherwise known as the bump cube. The brands of mirror blocks / bump cube I will be going over are Q-Twist, ShengShou, Ghost Hand, QJ, YJ, and Rubrics. For those of you that don't know, every episode of Better Brand I will be talking about one certain type of puzzle, in this case the bump cube or mirror blocks, whatever you want to call it, and I'll be comparing the different brands that I have. Again, I have these 6 brands in front of me that I just mentioned before. So I'll be comparing and contrasting them. At the end, I will say which one I think is the better brand, hence the name of the series, Better Brand. So, let's get started. So, unfortunately, I don't have any of the boxes to show you guys because 3 of them came in an Amazon package that you guys have not yet seen, but that video will be out on Tuesday, and I was kind of disappointed because I ordered something and I was sent something completely different, so you guys will see what that is. And also the Rubrics one, which is this one. That one I got like maybe 4 years ago, so I don't have the box for that. And the ShengShou and Ghost Hand, I believe I was not collecting boxes when I first got those. So, unfortunately, I do not have any of the boxes. However, the prices I do have. The price for the Q-Twist is $8.99 on Amazon. The price for the ShengShou is $7 on E3 Cube Store. The price for the Ghost Hand, this one is $6. The price for the QJ on Amazon is $5.50. And the price for the YJ is $5.79. And the Rubrics, just don't get it. Just saying right now, just don't get it. I can't really find the price online because not a lot of places sell Rubrics products except for Rubrics.com, and I could not find it on Rubrics.com. So let's just get into the turning of all of these puzzles. So the turning on the Cube Twist mirror blocks, it's pretty rough, and when I'm turning, I'm noticing this cap is kind of coming out a little bit, as you can see. So I push it in and then start turning it, and then it just kind of comes out. So that's kind of annoying, and the turning is a little bit rough too. Okay, so the turning on the ShengShou mirror blocks is extremely smooth. It's like buttery smooth, just like most ShengShou products. Just like the ShengShou Aurora and the ShengShou Wind. The pieces actually kind of look really familiar. I think it might be from the ShengShou Wind or the Aurora, but I will be comparing those, the pieces of this with the pieces of the ShengShou Aurora when it comes to the pieces section of this video. So the turning is extremely smooth in this, and I'm really satisfied with the turning on this puzzle. Next, the turning on the Ghost Hand. Now, there's one problem with the Ghost Hand, is that one of the caps keeps popping off. I'm not sure that that's just because of mine, but that's a little annoying. I guess that falls under the popping section of the video. But the turning is, it's okay. It's rough, but it's not as rough as the Cube Twist. But it's not as smooth as the ShengShou, so it's kind of in between, I guess you could say. Next, we have QJ. Now, the pieces are the exact same as the ShengShou, so I'm not sure if Amazon just sent a ShengShou and just put a QJ sticker on it. So, whatever I say for QJ, just assume it's a ShengShou for now. Next, we have the YJ. Now, this is a little bit smoother than the Ghost Hand, which wasn't as rough as the Q-Twist, so this is a lot smoother than the Q-Twist, but not exactly as smooth as the as silky smooth as it is. It's really smooth, but not silky smooth like the ShengShou one was. And on the Rubrics is the worst one here. I'm just putting that out there now. It's really tight. I probably could tension it, but I bet that wouldn't really affect the turning. The turning is horrible. It's really, really rough. And it's just a pain to turn. So the first time I ever solved this, maybe it took me like 10 minutes. Because A, I knew beginner's method, and B, I had to get used to all the pieces. Like, because you saw it's a 3x3 mod. If you didn't already know that, here's the center, here are the edges, and then the corners. All you do is you just solve it using shapes instead of colors. I should have mentioned that before, but hopefully you got up to this point of the video and aren't just skipping around. So it's a 3x3 shape mod, and so B, I knew beginner's method, and I wasn't really used to shape mods. Now I love shape mods, but also because the turning was horrible, that's why it took me a long time. So don't get the Rubrics brand. Plus it's hard to find online. You can't find it on Rubrics.com. So that's kind of annoying. So now let's go on to corner cutting. Corner cutting on the Cube Twist is pretty good. I'd say about that much. And then reverse, not so much. Maybe I'm going to guess that much. So there is the corner cutting on that. Next on the ShengShou. Plus it just sounds different. So listen to this compared to this. So this just kind of gives off like a ShengShou sound, if that makes any sense. It makes sense to me, of course, because I'm saying it, but I hope it makes a little bit of sense to you. There's definitely a different sound, so the corner cutting is pretty good on this as well. Now on to the ghost hand. About that much, maybe even line to line. Yeah, so we could do about line to line. And then any farther, and I think it... Oh, I guess you could do farther than line to line. That's pretty good. And then reverse. Oh, I forgot to show reverse on the ShengShou, my bad. Reverse on the ShengShou, not so much at all. But reverse on the ghost hand, also not so much. Now on the QJ, I'm not even going to go over it. It's the exact same thing with the ShengShou. YJ. About that much, just like the ShengShou and the Cube Twist had. So far, the ghost hand has had the best. Rubrics, that takes some like force. So the Rubrics corner cutting is horrible. And reverse on the YJ, forgot that. Sorry, I'm kind of forgetting things. But I really do not have time to record more. So there is the corner cutting. So far the corner cutting is the smoothest on the ShengShou and of course the QJ, but it is the best on the ghost hand so far. So now let's go into lockups and pops. So none of the edges or corners ever pop out of any of these puzzles. It's a really well built puzzle. It's just like a standard 3x3. There's no Zanchi pieces. It's just standard blocky pieces, and you'll see that in the next section, except for the ShengShou, but that does not stop it from not locking up or popping. The only thing that does ever pop occasionally on some puzzles are the center caps. So on the Cube Twist, one of the center caps pops off. I believe it is this one, or maybe this one. And then on the ghost hand, one of them pops off of that. So that can get kind of annoying. You might have to glue them in. But that is the only lockups and or pops that I have ever experienced. The closest thing to lockups I can think of is, like since the sizes of the pieces are different, when you're performing an algorithm such as the T-perm, or you're turning like this, it's better to show right here. So when you're turning on a normal cube, the piece always is like the same size. So my finger always goes back to the same place to turn. On the ghost or on the mirror blocks, my finger has to move, like instead of here, it has to move lower, and so it's kind of hard to turn sometimes. So your finger's not used to it. Like there, that would usually turn if it was a regular cube. So like that can sort of mess you up with the turning or with your solve, and it might affect your time a little bit. So you kind of have to get used to that feeling. So next, let's go on to the pieces of all of these. So I got all the pieces for all of them except for the QJ because they have the exact same thing as the ShengShou. So here you can see the Cube Twist, the standard pieces. Here we see the ShengShou, and I'm going to compare it with the ShengShou Aurora pieces because I found them to be the exact same. So there are the corners. Notice how this has this little dip here, and so does this. And then the edges, as you can see, there's holes on both of them, and on the other side there's not. The only difference is that the ShengShou Aurora has tracks, as you can see right there, and the bump cube does not, or the mirror blocks do not. So these are pretty much based off of the ShengShou Aurora, which is an extremely smooth puzzle. If you haven't already seen my review, I recommend you guys go check that out to see what this is more like. Here you see the ghost hand, just like standard pieces, looks just like the Cube Twist. And then the YJ, a little bit different. The edge this time is rounded a little bit. And then Rubrics, the worst of them all, standard pieces. For some reason they look exactly like the Cube Twist, except for, first of all, they're a pain to get out. I actually had to get a screwdriver, like a flathead screwdriver, and get it out, and somehow this part fell out from the bottom of here, I believe. So I pretty much broke the part of a piece trying to get the pieces out because of how tight this puzzle is. So I guess the cap was supposed to go there. So there are all the pieces. Now let's go over the sticker quality, which is kind of important. So all these puzzles have the same sticker quality when it comes to chipping and peeling. None of them do chip or peel. The only difference is that about 4 out of these 6 or 4 of these 5 if you don't include the QJ because it's the same as the ShengShou. So 4 out of the 5 or 6 do get fingerprints all over it, so it makes it a little bit annoying to solve because some people like to have like clean their cubes. I guess it makes it seem a little dirty. So here, let's see, you can see, so you can see the camera. That's pretty cool. That's what it's called, the mirror blocks. But you can see like it's a little bit dirty. Like I can put my fingerprint on that piece, and you can see that. Now I'm gonna skip the ShengShou for a second. Now you get the same case on the ghost hand, fingerprints, and the YJ I've found to be one of the worst ones. As you can see, the pieces get a lot of dirt on them, or a lot of smudges on them. And Rubrics is just horrible. Just don't get the Rubrics ever. In any of these Better Brand episodes, I will never pick a Rubrics. You can mark my words, you can quote me on that. I'll never pick a Rubrics as a Better Brand. Because Rubrics, although it's the original brand, it's not better. So, next, here's the ShengShou. You don't really notice that many fingerprints on it because of all the lines. But because of the lines you can see on it, it adds a little bit more of a challenge. It makes it seem like a picture cube. So sometimes you might have to change two centers 90 degrees. And if you want to learn how to do that, you could click on the video, which I will put right here. And that'll show you how to turn the centers on puzzles. So as size comparison, I can just tell you now that these are all the same. But if you do not believe me for some odd reason, here you can see that they're all pretty much the same. Some of them are kind of leveled differently, but they're all the exact same size. So now let me go over my overall thoughts, and then I'll let you guys know which one I think is the better brand. So the Cube Twist, it's a little bit rough, but once it starts turning, it's kind of smooth. It's definitely not the smoothest out there, but it does happen to be the roughest one, or one of the roughest ones out of these 6. So my final thoughts on the ShengShou is it is extremely smooth. It's based off of my main, so that adds a bonus point to it. It adds more of a challenge, and I like a challenge because sometimes the centers will be turned and then it's not solved unless the lines are lined up. For example, the piece or the centers might be turned 90 degrees, such as this. And when you see the light reflecting off of it, you can see that this is obviously not solved because these lines are all going vertically and that's going horizontally, and same here. So what I would do if I had to turn 2 of them 90 degrees, also let you guys know now, you put one on the right, one on the top, and you perform the 3-edge cycle 3 times, and then it will come back to normal, and just like that. So it adds more of a bit of a challenge, and I like that. It's based off of my main, it's extremely smooth, and the corner cutting is pretty good. So my final thoughts on the ghost hand is that it is pretty smooth once it starts turning. The corner cutting is the best out of all of them. It can do more than line to line, so that adds 1 bonus point, and it can do that with ease. I'm not even trying. It requires force about that much, but here you can do that with ease. And reverse is also pretty good. So this puzzle is a great puzzle. My final thoughts on the QJ, just go back and watch my final thoughts on the ShengShou because they are the same. I might order another QJ, not from Amazon, because Amazon has been kind of sending me the wrong cubes lately. So I might order a new QJ and see if I get the same puzzle. But I won't do it from Amazon, I'll do it from an actual cube store. So my final thoughts on the YJ, it is smoother than the ghost hand, however the corner cutting is not as good. I'm pretty sure when tensioned and lubed properly, then it will definitely corner cut more than line to line. But as of now, it cannot unless you put a lot of force on it. The sticker quality is the second worst out of these, so that's a -1, I guess you could say. But it is still a great puzzle nonetheless, and it is a great price for, I believe, $5.79, I want to say. That's just a guess. Sounds right. Then my final thoughts on Rubrics, it sucks. That's all I'm going to say. So most of you probably knew it from the start and you just wanted to watch it just to watch it, so I appreciate it if you already knew what I was going to say. But in my opinion, the better brand is the ShengShou or the QJ or whatever I was sent. But the ShengShou is definitely the better brand in my opinion. It's the smoothest. It's based off of an extremely smooth puzzle that most people have, or not most, but a lot of people have as their mains. For example, me, my main is the ShengShou Aurora, and the pieces are based off of the ShengShou Aurora, it looks like. And this is an extremely smooth puzzle. If you haven't already seen my review, I recommend you guys go check it out. and I'll put a link to that in the description. So this puzzle is based off of my main and of other people's mains. It's extremely smooth. The corner cutting is pretty good when looped and tensioned. I have not done either of those, but I'm 100% sure it'll be a lot better than it is. But the fact that you can turn it easily with one finger just makes it that much better, because you can't really do that with cube twist. It kind of like stops, and you can't do that with any of the other ones. It's kind of choppy, but this you can do it with these. So that is why ShengShou is the better brand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Better Brand. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know what you thought of this episode. And also let me know what you guys think I should do next. I'd love to hear all of your opinions, because this is my most successful series and I'm really proud of this series, and I'd love to know all positive or negative feedback, and hopefully I can improve this series as it goes on. Again, next Saturday I'll have a new Better Brand, but then once school starts I'll be having a Better Brand episode every other week until I run out of episodes. Somebody brought up a really great idea of having a 3x3 Better Brand episode as the final episode. The only problem with that is that I'm going to want to branch out this series into a different series. Not exactly sure what that series will be, but I know that I want to expand the series into another series name, if that makes any sense. So anyways, next Saturday I'll have a new episode. Check out the channel of the week. You got some pretty good videos, and I'd really appreciate it if you went and subscribe to them. If you want to see some behind the scene footage and some cool info that I do not put on my YouTube channel, you can check out my Facebook page. That is in the description. I give lots of updates there, and I even post pictures of viewer cube arts before the episodes even come out. And viewer cube arts, I need more of them, so I have enough for a few more episodes. But if I want to start doing 3 every episode, then I'm going to need a lot more. So I might end up just doing 2 an episode. But again, don't hesitate to send me a viewer cube art. And also don't hesitate to add me on Skype. I talked to NFCuber recently, and they were very happy to talk to me. And it made me feel actually pretty good about myself, knowing that somebody wanted to talk to me. Like, they felt like they thanked me for talking to them. And I'm really a really friendly guy on Skype and in person. I will never not reply back to a PM on YouTube. So if you want to ask me anything, if you want to just say hey, then I'll be more than happy to respond on PM. Also on Skype, if I'm ever available and I'm not doing something else that requires me to not be on Skype, then I will be more than happy to answer any messages on Skype. So just say hey on Skype and let me know that you're a subscriber, so I know you're just not some random person who somehow managed to find my Skype. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Better Brand. The other episodes that I will be doing are in the description, so let me know what you want me to do next. I'm heading towards 2x2 or 7x7. I'm not exactly sure which one I'll be doing. And also, I have a huge project that I'll be doing. It will take some time. I believe only 4 people know about it. I did post about it on my Facebook page. I can't give out any hints. Actually, the only hint I will be giving out is that it has the potential of being a viral video. So it'll take me about a week or 2 to master this thing I'm trying to do. So anyways, if you have any guesses, let me know in the comments down below what you think I'm talking about. And hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.